It's Mr. Schwanenkamp here. I'm going to record the second half of this video. We're going to deal with graphing, but we're going to move these graphs a little bit. My son wanted to say hello. Hi. All right. So if you hear some random sounds, that's my son running around doing some things. I'm going to try to keep him quiet, but we'll see how we do here. All right. So we are dealing with graphs. We are going to move them up and down, left and right, shift them around, and we're going to do this all using shortcuts. Instead of having to do a T-chart every time, which is not always super fun, we are going to do a T-chart instead. So, let's switch. All right, there we go. That way, in case I need to turn my video on, I can turn it back on. Here we go. So y equals x plus h squared plus or minus k. This is going to be the basic way we will see these graphs. All right. If you take something and you add or subtract with the x, so if it's inside of parentheses or it's underneath the square root, something like that, then that is going to shift us left and right, but we are going to do the opposite. Do the opposite, and you'll see what that means here in a second. If we've got a plus or minus k, so if we take something and it's added or subtracted on the end, that is going to take our graph and shift us up or down, and we do what it says. So what do I mean with that? Well, if it says x plus 2 squared, that plus 2, normally when you think plus 2, you think to the right 2, but we're going to do the opposite. It'll take you left. All right. And if it's added on the outside, so like x squared plus 4, that plus 4 is hanging on the end. If it's just on the end, I think plus 4, I think up, it is going to take me up. We're going to do what it says. If you need some help, there is a QR code there. I think I've linked it in there as well, but it just kind of walks you through and I know this is in the quick check as well. So you kind of go through it. It'll be pretty helpful to you. All right, let's do these. So we're going to graph these pretty quickly. Absolute value of x plus 4. Absolute value, that's a V shape. Okay, absolute value is a V. I just drew a V, but really ugly. The plus 4, this is inside the grouping symbol. So since it's inside the grouping symbol, it's going to move left and right. If it's plus 4, we're going to do the opposite of what you think it would be. It's going to move us to the left 4. So that's going to be my starting dot. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and make my V. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. That is my V. That is what the absolute value of x plus 4 is going to be. All right, we could go on Desmos. If I were to open up Desmos here and graph it. So we just did it without using anything. I didn't do a T-chart, anything else. Absolute value of x plus 4. Hey, look, that is exactly the graph we just drew. It just allowed us to do it a lot quicker than having to rely on a graphing calculator to figure that out. So we will kind of go back and forth here. I will try to pull up Desmos so you can see it, but that's the idea. All right, next one. X minus 2 squared. So again, I'm adding or subtracting something inside the grouping symbols. It's a parabola because it's squared. X minus 2, it's inside. I'm going to do the opposite. So minus 2 is going to take me to the right 2. It's a parabola. So a parabola pattern is 1, 3, 5. I'm up 1 over 1. Up 3 over 1. Up 5 over 1. I already ran out of space. So we just are going to draw the parabola the best we can. Last one, square root of x plus 3, or at least on this row. Square root of x plus 3. This plus 3, it's inside the grouping symbols. It is underneath the square root. So it's a square root graph. So it's that 1, 3, 5 pattern. It's that teapot looking shape. It's that guy right there. The plus 3 is going to do the opposite. It's going to take us to the left 3. So there's going to be my starting dot. It's 1, 3, 5. So I'm up 1 over 1, up 1 over 3. 1, 2, 3. Up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. There is my teapot graph. And again, we could throw on Desmos and type that in. Square root of x plus 3. Yep, exactly what we just drew. Desmos is a good friend if you need some help and you want to go back and forth and just check your work. It's a good idea. Oh, I didn't realize I had another one on here. All right, let's do another one. X minus 5. That minus 5 is going to take us to the right 5 because it's inside the grouping symbol. It's cubed, so my pattern is that broken parabola shape, that guy right there. It's 1, 7. Up 1 over 1. Up 7 over 1, so I kind of run out of space. Down 1 over 1. down 7 over 1. That's going to be my shape. You don't have to be perfect, but being able to draw it quickly is helpful. Let's do it again. X squared plus 4. Notice that this plus 4 is tagged on the end. It is not inside the grouping symbol. It's not inside of parentheses. So that plus 4 here is going to shift me up 4. So I'm going to start here in the middle and go up 4. And then I'm going to make a parabola. So up 1 over 1, up 3 over 1. I ran out of space. I'm just going to draw this little baby parabola. The minus 3, it's tagged on the end. So since it's tagged on the end, it's going to take us up or down. Since it's minus, it's going to take me down. It's a square root, so a square root is that teapot shape. My pattern is 1, 3, 5. So up 1 over 1, up 3 over 1, up 5 over 1. There's my graph. X cubed plus 2, the plus 2, outside the grouping, taking me up 2. It's x cubed, so it's a cube graph. It's 1, 7 is my pattern. Up 1 over 1, up 7 over 1, ran out of space. Down 1 over 1, down 7 over 1. There is my broken parabola cubic graph. Last one, x cubed minus 3. The minus 3 is taking me down 3. It's a cubic graph, so my pattern is 1, 7. So I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 7, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 7. There is my S curve looking shape there. Now what happens if we put them together? So let's put them together. Absolute value, x plus 3 minus 4. The plus 3, it's inside the group, so it's either going to go left or right. If it says plus 3, we're going to do the opposite. It's going to take me left 3. The minus 4 is tagged on the end, so it's going to take me down 4. Left 3, down 4. Absolute value, so it's a V. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Boom, boom, boom. V, V. Just so we can check it. Let's do it. So absolute value of x plus 3 and then minus 4. Oh yeah, that's the dot at negative 3, negative 4, just like where we made this one. Next one, the minus 1 takes me right 1. The plus 3 takes me up 3. Inside the grouping symbol, so we do different. It's tagged on the end, so it's going to take us up. There's my starting dot. It is a square root graph. Boom, boom. 1, 3, 5 is my pattern. Next one, minus 1 is taking me right 1. That minus 1 is taking me down 1. It's a cubic graph, so my pattern is 1, 7, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 7. Cube root graph, just like that. So you can see how those things kind of go back and forth. They're not too crazy difficult to get through. That's the main idea. Vertical flips. If you have a negative in front of everything, then it's going to flip vertically. All right, so it's not a huge addition to it, but you'll see what that means. Okay, so looking at this first one, we're just kind of going down the list. What shape is it going to be? Well, it's x squared, so it's a parabola. There is a negative sign in front, so because of that, it is going to flip. I'm just going to put a check mark that, yeah, we're flipping. Plus left or right? Well, since it's plus 3 inside the grouping symbol, it says plus, so we're going to do the opposite. It's going to go left 3, and that minus 4 is tagged on the end, so I'm going to go down 4. So let's graph that. Left 3, down 4. Here's my starting dot. It's a parabola, so it's 1, 3, 5, but it's negative. So since it's negative, it's going to go downward. It's going to take that whole shape. Normally when we think parabola, we're thinking something like that. But because it's negative, it's going to go down, just like that one. Let's try it again. The shape, teapot graph. Did it flip? Yes, because it's negative. The minus 2 is taking me to the right 2 because I do the opposite. The plus 4 is taking me up 4 because I do what it says. Right 2, up 4. It's a teapot graph, so normally I'd go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 3, but I'm flipping it vertically. So if I'm flipping it vertically, I'm going to go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 3. That is a vertical flip. It went from a teapot to like a water slide graph that you could slide right out of that thing. X plus 3. Oh no. What's my shape going to be? It's a line. Did it flip? Nope, because there's not a negative. Did it shift left and right? No, because that +3 is not inside of grouping symbols. That +3 is going to move me up 3. The slope is 1, so I'm up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, and so on. Right there, I can do the same thing we were doing with our shapes, but with a line instead, and it's going to get me the same picture. 3 more. We're doing well. Stay with me here. Shape. It is an S-curve. It's a cube root graph. Did it flip? Yep, because it's negative. This +2 right here, it's underneath the grouping symbol, so it's going to move me to the left 2. That -1 on the end is going to move me up. Just kidding. Down 1. Left 2, down 1. There's my starting dot. It's an S curve, and it's flipped. So instead of going up 1 over 1, I'm going to go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 7, because my pattern is 1, 7. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 7. Oh, no. I can't draw it from the right as well. There's my graph. Just kind of connected the dots there. Normal shape, we just flipped it. So normally it would look like this, but we flipped it over, and when you flip it vertically, it becomes that shape instead. Next one. It's a V shape. It's absolute value. Did it flip? Nope, because there's no negative. Did it move left or right? Well, it moved to the right 5, because the -5 inside the parentheses. The -3 is going to take me down 3. Right 5, down 3. V shape. So my V pattern is up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. V, V. Last one. -x minus 4 cubed. So this is a broken parabola. Eventually, you'll just refer to that as a cubic shape, because that's what it is. It's a cubic graph. It's that guy right there. But remember, it looks like a broken parabola. Did it flip? Yes. And so if we flip that, that means the shape is now going to look like that one. We're going to flip it upside down. Did it move left or right? It moved -4, so it's going to move me right 4. The +1 is going to move me up 1. Right 4, up 1. There's my starting dot. My pattern is 1, 7. So I'm going to go up 1, over 1 this way, up 1, over 1 that way. It's going to go like that. And then down here, I dropped that one too far. It's going to look like that. If you don't believe me, let's graph that one in Desmos real quick. So we're going negative parentheses x minus 3. Is that right? Nope, x minus 4. X minus 4 cubed. There's too many numbers. X minus 4 cubed. And then a +1 on the outside. Hey, guess what? There is the middle right there at 4, 1. And we have that same shape that we drew. Hope that makes sense. Graphing these are really important. Make sure we can handle that, learn the rules, and understand what's going on.